Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about Jupiter because it is about to transit into a new sign, Capricorn. And actually, Jupiter will be going in and out of Capricorn for on and off for this year. So I want to give you a heads up on what to expect as it goes into this sign and the aspects it's going to be making with other planets, because it is very important in terms of what's going to be happening globally. You see, Jupiter is the planet of great expansion and growth and always offers opportunities. But as it goes into the sign of Capricorn, realize that this is not Jupiter's favorite sign to be in. It's actually its debilitation sign. But dependent on the other planets that affect Jupiter at this time, it will give completely different results. So let me remind everyone, I am a Vedic astrologer, which means I am working with the sidereal system of astrology, which falls backwards a sign from Western tropical astrology. So realize that this is different. Now, for those of you that are so interested in the Vedic sidereal placements, you're going to see the results, especially as it goes back and forth into Capricorn. So Jupiter will go into Capricorn around the 29th of March, 2020, right? Coming up here very soon. Now, as it goes into the sign, it will only stay in the sign for approximately around 3 months. So the time it's going to retrograde back into Sagittarius will be around the 29th of June. So basically, let's just be in generalities, it will be in the sign of Capricorn for about April, May, and June for 3 months. And during this time, you can expect major shifts and changes in what? The economy, because Jupiter rules economy. And at this time, it's going to be with Saturn. Saturn is already in Capricorn, and these two will come together, just like they did in the year of 1961. Both Jupiter and Saturn were together in this sign. But let's go back the last few times prior to 1961, after 1961, and see what effects Jupiter had in the sign. Realize that Jupiter goes through the entire 12 signs approximately every 12 years, because Jupiter pretty much stays in a sign per 1 year. So even though this year it's going in and out, when you bring it all together, it's approximately 12 months that Jupiter will stay in a sign, even though this year we'll have it in and out. If you add up all the months combined that it stays in Capricorn, it's about 12 months. So looking at this time period, let me just give you when Jupiter will be in Capricorn now. Then we're going to look at previous times. Jupiter will be in Capricorn March 29th through June 29th, 2020. Then after it goes back into Sagittarius, it will enter into Capricorn again around November 20th of 2020. And it will remain in Capricorn till around April, which will be April 6th of 2021. So between November 20th and November 20th of 2020 to April 6th of 2021, we have Jupiter in Capricorn. So with Saturn at this point in time, it really does change the quality. And actually, because Saturn is so vitally strong in the sign of Capricorn, it rules Capricorn, this is going to make the Jupiter actually uplift it to a certain degree. But Capricorn is all about government and rulership. And you're going to see how things are about to change dramatically in the area of governments. And this pertains to the entire world. Lots is about to change. There's going to be some amazing things happen during this time. But let's proceed to go backwards. The very last time that Jupiter was in Capricorn. That was 2009. Now remember, in 2008, there was a stock market crash. The economy really tanked. And 2009 was like a recovery time. It wasn't good in the economy. Now going back and looking at this, Jupiter, there were no other planets with Jupiter in Capricorn for the most part. And when I say this, you know, of course, the faster moving planets will join forces on and off throughout the years. But any long-standing outer planets or Saturn or anything that's or Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, or Rahu or Ketu are not influencing Jupiter. This was in the year of 2009. And that's why Jupiter's debilitation really was in effect. But it always changes something about governments, about responsibility to the people, and it is always about opportunities. Now, let's go back to the time prior to the 2009, which it was 1997. 1997 was, they said that the economy at this time was too good to be true. It was right before the 98-99 explosion of the internet. And also, let's talk about how the .com and all of the stocks went sky high. But there was a bubble there. But it was still, in 1997, and get this, in 1997, Jupiter was conjunct the outer planets. It was pretty much with Uranus and Neptune, which at that time, they deal with technology. And this was a super boom, but it was artificial. But still, like they say, the economy was too good to be true. Let's go back another 12 years prior to that, approximately. It's not always going to be exactly 12 years, mind you, but it was 1985. And in 1985, the economy was not so good, not so good. And again, Jupiter was not influenced by any outer planets or Saturn. So whenever Jupiter stands alone, debilitated in Capricorn, it's not a good thing for the economy. Going back one more time, 1973. And 1973, there was a recession. Jupiter was not influenced again by other planets. So many of you can go back and look and see, you know, if these are years that you're born, you know you've got Jupiter in Capricorn. And this has an effect on how you view money. It does, because that's what it's all about. And they say Jupiter in Capricorn, it's debilitated, which means it's weakened. But those that have Jupiter in Capricorn will be very much money oriented. They will be concerned about their money. They feel like they have to make money. So they can be very materialistic. And that's okay. That's just their nature. Okay? So one more time, as I started with the year of 1961, prior to 1973, it was 1961, but just like now, Saturn was with Jupiter. Now going back and looking at the economy in 1961, it was doing very, very well. There was a rebuilding. And I think with Saturn being combined with Jupiter, together they create what we say manifestation. So this is a manifestation of what? The material plane. Because that's what Capricorn's all about. It's about work. It's about materialism. Remember this, that it is the 10th sign, which is relative to what? The 10th house. So it's about career, building, work, jobs, government, everything to do with what brings us to making money and making our life better through what? Gains, material things. And we all need material things. What are we going to do to provide for our families? What are we going to do to create security? Because security is always what Capricorn's all about. So everything that will promote security is going to be promoted. So we're going to see, while Jupiter goes into Capricorn with Saturn, how much security means to us. And everything in the world is going to be going to rebuilding the economy, because just like the year of 2008, the year of 2020, we have this enormous shift in the economy and the stock market. And now, again, while Jupiter is going to come together with Saturn in 2020 and 2021, it's going to be about rebuilding the economy after this insanely crazy year has produced all of these effects. But remember, there's so much that's really orchestrated by really the mass consciousness. And what has orchestrated all of this? Fear. All of this fear concerning health, disease, spreading all over the world. Now the aftermath is going to be when the Jupiter and the Saturn come together in the sign of Capricorn, which means a rebuilding. Now here's some other variables that are going to make this very different than most of the other Jupiter in Capricorn experiences. And that is Jupiter on and off throughout this year is going to be going back and forth with Pluto. It's going to conjunct Pluto at 29 degrees of Sagittarius. Then it's going to move forward and conjunct Pluto at 0 degrees of Capricorn. It's going to go back again into Sagittarius. And then it's going to go forward again with Pluto in Capricorn. So throughout this year, we have Jupiter coming together with a conjunction with Pluto in Capricorn, which means major, huge events that are going to shift not only the economy, but government. Capricorn rules government rule and building, creating jobs. I mean, we will never see the explosive events again that this year is about to bring. Economically, this crazy cycle of radical highs and lows, it's not over. But it will balance out. It will begin to balance out when Jupiter goes into Capricorn. But with Pluto, there are major explosive events with the economy. Some may be very good, but let me tell you, Jupiter's going to go back into Sagittarius for a while. There's going to be a backtracking. Things are going to fall again. Things are going to go back to where they were. There could be some more fears about what? Terrorism. There could be some more fears about disease. But then it's going to go back and finally, after November 20th, remain in Capricorn. Jupiter will be, remember, in Capricorn by about November 20th of 2020 till April 6th of 2021. While it's there, this is an enormous rebuilding. And it must come together with this, because after the extremes of what we're going through, dealing with fear, dealing with the world crises, there is a balance and a quest and a need and resurgence for security, because that's exactly what Saturn and Capricorn are all about. So the stabilizing force is necessary for Jupiter to go into Capricorn with Saturn. But let me warn you, right at the time it enters into Capricorn, it's going to be with Mars. Because Mars shifts into Capricorn the 22nd of March 2020. We'll be there till about the first week of May. And Mars being in Capricorn, so this covers all of the month of April, where Jupiter is there, conjunct Mars, conjunct Pluto. Major crises are going to happen with what? The government. Wait and see how this combination of Pluto, Mars, Jupiter are going to bring things in a way with leadership around the world. Things we didn't know about. Things are going to surface and things are going to what? Transform and change. Unbelievably. We can hardly even predict the extremes that are about to be happening in the month of April. Because let me say another thing. Mars is a major trigger. When you put Mars together with any planet, it kicks it off and explosive events happen. And that's what's going to be happening in the month of April. So watch how things explode. Then by the time that we get into May, after Mars moves away from Capricorn, things will start to calm down. We'll start to get a sense of peace. Things will begin in May to get back to normal. But not for long. Because remember, the end of June, so into July, and the end of June, we do have another solar eclipse, June 21st. Things are going to get a little crazy again. Let me just say that. So this is going to be one of the most amazing years for radical shifts and changes. Watch how the planets direct our world. So with that, I'd like to close. If you would like more information on me or you would like a consultation and sign up for my free newsletter, go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. And if you would like to learn Vedic astrology, I have an online university. Go to University of Vedic Astrology.com. Thank you.